Evet, hoş geldiniz tekrardan.
Welcome back. Our next guest is Tolgay Hıçkıran. He is the co-founder of Codeio Gaming, and he will be holding a workshop with us on optimizing the high polygon count. Hello, welcome.
Merhabalar.
Geliyor mu sesim? Hoş geldiniz.
Hello.
Nasılsınız?
How are you?
Teşekkürler Serdar Bey, siz nasılsınız?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Teşekkür ederim.
I'm fine, thanks.
Olduğunuzda ekran paylaşımı
If you're ready,
yapabilirsiniz.
we can start sharing our screen.
Herkes hoş geldi arkadaşlar. Merhabalar.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Poligon sayımızı kolay yollardan nasıl düşürebileceğimizi
Today,
göstereceğim size.
we will be looking at how to optimize our high polygon count. I'm Tolgay Hıçkıran. I'm a co-founder at Codeo engineer. Every week, I organize a committee. We give lectures free of charge on that community. So we work in that ecosystem. We offer affordable solutions to our clients. Unity is quite close with this French company, Pixies. This company is consisting of mathematicians. As you know, the polygon count and polygon manufacturing is a mathematical process. So whatever, regardless of your 3D program, Blender Max, Maya, whatever you're using, or a CAD program, in this program, to Unity or Venanda or other game engines, as you transfer your product, if you have a high polygon count, in real-time engines, you will have a lot of problems, particularly if you're working with OVDR. You know this very well. Now, I will make a short presentation, then I will continue with the workshop. Now, it may not be enough to download Unity to follow me. Maybe if you go to pixies-software.com, you will see Unity plugin. My connection is not very good, so if you go here, you can download 7-day trial version to continue this workshop. But if you don't do this, don't be bothered, because I will do some very simple things. Here, this presentation is a automotive transportation manufacturing, but there are many things in this game. I will talk about Unity at first. As you know, Unity is the most widely used real-time 3D. It has more than application developers. It has more than 3 billion devices reached monthly. It has more than 25 platforms supported. As I mentioned, this presentation is not only about Unity. The outcome of this presentation can be also used with output Unreal Engine and other engines, so we can give outputs to other platforms. You can see them on the slide. And in the market, in AR, VR, 60% of all AR, VR content is powered by Unity. And 90% of the world's most innovative AR, VR companies are powered by Unity. Why do we use Unity? Because we can give outputs to many different locations, such as iOS, PC, or Mac applications, Linux applications. My performance is better, and it's easier to learn, and support sources are not really available in other platforms. So if you're already using Unity, you know why we are using it. And in the new generation visual quality, high definition render pipeline is important. And the material in automotive with stacked car paint shaders can be used better in Unity. Now, Pixies and Unity. If you manufacture a game or something else, if you use a CAD or 3D modeling program, this software at 90% of the times will offer you non-optimized geometries, and you can see this in Unity or modeling software. This can be in the gaming industry. We have Blender Max Maya, and outside of the gaming industry, SolidWorks, AutoCAD, Inventor, Creo, CATIA, and other product designing software. So all of them all produce mathematical models. For these, you will have quads or nerds. These are different geometrical shapes, or we have triangles. We often use triangles. And when we use some program like Unity, we turn this into FPX. This is a proprietary, it's an IP of Autodesk. So in our classical operation, we do the modeling, turn it into FPX and put it in Max. Last year, this is a topology tool, as you know. If you haven't used it, it's a topology tool. By using this, you can shrink the topology without distorting the topology. And in Max, you do the processes and you get an FBX output. And in real-time engine, I can use my models. So if we insert Pixies here, we don't have to add another layer. Here, the layer is, we don't have to get the Max or Maya layer. If you are a freelancer or a game studio, but as a studio, if you transfer CAD models from outside, from CG Trader, asset stores, or from someone who is a specialist on specific software, so you use this output of that software. So Pixies does, what Pixies does is to get the native file of the software and process it. For example, when you design a refrigerator, in AutoCAD, you use 3D AutoCAD, but you don't want to turn this into FPX. So you can transfer AutoCAD directly into FBX, into Unity. So we normally use FBX importers. We have certain specifications. We have to optimize this. Don't have to optimize this. We keep this intact. We get this material. After doing that, we see our triangles in game mode. So Pixies gets all of that, says don't bother with that. As you do this, if you like, I can optimize the triangles. I will show you all of this in a minute. There are two methods in Pixies. Actually, there are three, but most of the time we will use two of them. One of them is plugin. It's only available in Unity because we have a big contract with Unity and Pixies, but Studio works agnostically. The input is agnostic. You can get it from Max or CATIA. An automotive company can send you data. A 3D building modeling company can send you the model of that building. And the output is, if you have the studio and the studio is standalone executable, if you give output to Unreal or another engine, Decimation, it depends on what you want to do. So the studio has an advantage. You can write extra scripts. You can say, I have a pipeline. I have this pipeline. I always produce 3D models. I produce 20 models per day. I have 3 artists. these three artists always produce 3D models for me. So I wonder, instead of doing the same procedure, can I have a pipeline of these models and send them to the studio so they can process them? Yes, we can do that. Studio has this advantage. If you have a specific flow of files, when you produce these files, there were 3 million polygons. As they go through Pixies, 95% reduction is achieved and it goes down to 100, 200,000. And there is the badge. Automobile companies use that because they produce hundreds of variations for one automobile. So getting an output for each variation takes a lot of time. So they use this. I will skip this. And you can also produce LOD using plugin. This is a good function. You don't have to just get a singular, you can get just singular model and create an LOD for it. If you have any questions, you can send them via Q&A. But besides that, you can also follow me on social platforms. Now, on Unity, if you want to follow me, you can download the Pixies plugin. I will show you how to do that. Now, I will generate one 3D template here. As the template is generated, I will give you some more information. If you want to work with low polygons but with high resolution, you can do this to a certain extent for mobile manufacturing. You can see this in your own projects. In cornered geometries, you have to produce products because the output of these modular softwares is specific. You know, as the number of triangles increase, the algorithms reduce the number of corners in the shapes. So you get cornered images, but an algorithm like Pixies, maybe we should not just focus on Pixies. If you want to do a mesh optimization, you have to look at different factors. You can also do this manually. That would take a long time, but you can do this with different kinds of software. There are other software like Pixies. Maybe you can look at them. You should also look at the differences between these pieces of software. The purpose here is not conceding from our quality, but offering high resolution images to our client. This is the ultimate purpose.
Gelişmesinden ötürü ben inceliyorum üretilen
As the
özellikle.
mobile game sector developed very rapidly recently, I'm closely following this. We need to keep an eye on them. Look at the mobile games developed abroad. They are the same input, but the outputs are more qualified. The reason for this is not only rapid prototyping or sending the prototype to the publisher. They do this also. These are generally publisher companies, and we are also working with some of them as trainers. They do this, and at the same time, they provide more than an average image or visual to the customers, especially in Europe. I'm an industrial engineer, by the way. I'm coming from the production phrase, pace, and the best thing done in Europe in packaging. Packaging must be very good, must be lowly, and in order to be so saleable, and therefore it's only possible through good visual. Now I have opened this port and I need to bring the Pixies package to here and it's in the asset store. And of course I entered the 2021
Asset Store'da değil.
game. Excuse me, by the way, is not in asset store. I am downloading it from the internet sites. Please download the plugin one.
Ben zaten birkaç tane
You can also download the other, but you cannot follow me. I'll just show you a few simple operations. First, let me find my package. I am saying import package.
olması lazım.
It is among my downloads.
Eğer yoksa bana kısaca download
If
ederseniz.
not, I will download it. It's not that much big. It's just 400 megabytes. This is my plugin. There are two plugin types. One is valid for the older version,
İsmini verdim bunun için.
and the upper one is valid for the new version.
Open diyorum. Normal
And
banka
I
hesabı
open
gibi.
it. It's a normal private package. It's all getting open. It's like a zip file, and the package opens itself. And after opening it, I will import it and I will take one FBX. There are different companies, models in my computer. I will just pick one of them. And you can also take one PBX with high polygon in front of you. If you don't have any, you can also download from Pixis website. Under download tab, there are some samples. You can also download one of them, and one of them is the front disk of a vehicle branded Lexus, and there is also a wheel. You can also work with them.
Herhangi bir
Or
işletmenin
you can take a sample from any company, or you can also download any freeware file from the CG trial and start working. It's also possible.
indirime import tamamlansın. Devam edelim.
After completing the import, I will continue.
Şimdilik
Let me check the
teşekkür
Q&A
ediyorum diyorum.
box. There is no question at the moment.
Aramızda tanıdığımız arkadaşlar da var. Hoş geldiniz herkese.
There are also familiar friends here. I see their names.
Import işlemi tamamlansın. Devam edeceğiz.
I'm
Elimde bir
waiting
tane
for the
park
import.
ekipmanı
I
producer
have a
epey
model from the park
bir
equipment
tane
producer. It's quite large.
burada bir
One model
bazı
from the
arkadaşlarımız
industrial furnace manufacturer, and they are around 30 or 40 polygon levels, and it's actually ideal for showing how the change is, how it changes.
Okey. Arkadaşlar projeyi
Yes, friends.
indirdikten sonra
After
Pixis'ten
downloading the
bahsettiğimizde
Pixies, there
Indieway
will be a window
şimdi
of
işlem
Pixies
sonrasında
at the top.
yapılabiliyor.
There are two methods. The first one
FBX
is
import edip daha
to
sonradan
import
uygulamayı
FBX first and continue the process.
doğrudan
Or
FBX
secondly, directly I can import the
Pixis
model with Pixies. Both are possible. Let me show the first one first. I am finding one FBX among my own files. Let's open one
Bu arada Max dosyalarını
previously
biliyorsunuz.
used. By the
Codeio'da
way,
kullanabiliriz.
you can also work with the Max files.
Şuradan başlıyoruz. FBX.
Let me find FBX from here. Yes, here it is.
Mesela daha önce çalıştığımız
I worked on
biraz uzun sürecek ama fark etmez. Bir tane montaj pişirme fırını. Ben bir tane fırın açayım. Çünkü öbürleri
a
biraz daha
furnace
zor.
model, industrial
FBX'e
furnace
giriyorum.
model
Nesnelerin arasına tıklıyorum.
previously. I pick my FBX and put it in the assets first.
Dediğim gibi bunlar biraz boyutlu ürünler. O yüzden
They
biraz
are
süre
huge
alacak.
in
Ben
size,
de bu süreyi
therefore it will take a little bit
kazanmak
time,
istiyorum arkadaşlar.
and
Sonuçta canlı
I
yayın
will
yapıyorum.
make up that time later through conversation because this is a live demo
Hem riski var.
to show you all the details. There are some
İşlemin
risks,
aslında ne kadar
and
karlı
actually
olabileceğini
it shows how simple the procedure is. It's also advantageous then.
bu tarz yöntemler yöntemler çok bilinen yöntemler değil.
Such methods are not well known, by the way. It is not only valid for Turkey but for all the countries. Actually, there are the products where mesh optimization can be done, but the world is not aware of this, and we are telling all this to people.
Renk kalitesini
Zeynep
arttıran
has a
şeyleri
question. The
belirleyeceğiz.
losses in color and texture, is it possible to reduce them? Actually, there are different methods for this. Our purpose is actually here not to lose the color and texture. So we do the change accordingly. And this tool has many other features, and more than one feature it can be used.
Ve yaptığımız
And
fonksiyonlara
there are some other functions. I will show you the functions actually before starting the procedure.
getirdik mi toolbox'umuza?
When I enter the
Burada şimdi
toolbox,
yapabileceğimiz şeyler var. Kolaylığı da ekleyebilirim.
there are some
Şimdi şöyle ki
functions you see. Colliders.
siz
I can
getirdiğiniz
add a
modelde
collider. For example, you are producing a
bir şeyler
3D
ekleyebilirsiniz.
model and
Fiziksel
which will
yanlarına
be
da
interactive. I
değinebiliriz.
mean,
Aslında
physically,
projection'ın
they
basit
will be able to
anlatabileceğim
touch each other.
fiziksel
Actually,
örnekleri
you will add
kullanacağım.
physics, whether unity
Kolaylıkla
physics or
görebileceğiniz
heavier
üzere
physics, it
bütün
doesn't
fiziksel
matter.
unitelerin ben
And
kolaylıkla
you
yapabildiğini
need
ve
to
bizim
draw.
yapıdaki
You think that how to produce these simples without much
en
cost.
pahalısı da
And
bizim
here,
mesh
not only the visual
fiziksel
geometry is required,
hesaplama.
and the simplest one
Burada
is, excuse me, the most expensive one is mesh. In
dört
mesh
tane
part,
seçeneğimiz
there
var.
are four
Seçenekler
options,
sırasında
and these
repair,
are repair,
mesh'in kalitesizleşmiş olduğunu düşünürüz.
decimate to
Dolayısıyla
quality,
düzenlemek için
because we think that mesh is not qualified.
özellikle
Therefore, we want to clear the mesh. Actually, the mechanical engineers know it very well,
özellikle
because when there is a product, and especially while estimating air or fluid mechanics, actually the quality um, must have high resolution,
en güzel
and
en çok
mesh
kullanılan
or
ürünler
decimal quality helps this.
tıkladığımızda
And mesh will be one of the functions that we frequently use. When I click on it, you see this decimal quality.
veya
Remove
kesinlikle
vertex or edge collapse
dolayısıyla ne
are the
yapıyoruz?
options. Therefore, what does it do?
Bir komut
There
kesinlikle
is a quality preset.
benim bu meşimde
So I say that take this mesh and
belirli dinamik ve statik
produce a average quality transformation with certain unique and UV tolerances. And actually, you can see the details of this in the documentation. You can look for them if you're interested. So we are downloading a mesh with certain quality and keep my textures at that quality so that I do not lose much visual quality.
Decimate to
So let
target.
me
Burada
continue. Decimeter
sizin
target.
deneyimlerinizde örnek
For
uygulamalar
example,
var.
you have a model with 50 million polygons and you say that
20 milyon poligona indir. Veya bana
reduce this
70
to
milyon poligon indir.
20 million polygons
Bu
or 5 million
ölçümleri
polygons. Therefore,
indirmek
it
sizin target ettiğiniz
means that this is your target, but it's not the optimization of the program itself. Actually, I'm an industrial engineer, therefore I take the advantage of
sizin
this.
önünüzde bir problem var.
You have a
Ve
problem
bu
in
problemi
front of you,
aslında
and
net bir
in fact,
çözüm
there is
sizin yeterli zamanınız yok.
not
Endüstride
enough time
şöyle
to
kullanılıyor.
find a
Bu
proper
problemi çözmek
solution
için
to this
sizin
problem.
önünüze
And your
bir
problem waits for you.
kenar
There are
karşınıza
triangles in front of you, and you are producing a geometrical shape with those.
ne var?
And the problem is to find the optimum shape with the minimum number of triangles.
Ben
And
şöyle
solving this
yaptım.
problem linearly will take 10 years
Biz
or
de
20
burada
years.
şöyle yöntemler
However,
kullanıyoruz.
as engineers,
Önümüzde bir
we
problem var.
develop other
Ve
methods. We have a
problemin
problem, and
bir iterasyonundan işi başlatalım. Yani diyoruz ki tamam
We can start the process with an iteration. For example, let's assume there is a solution and start from that point. There is an iteration showing that whether I am close to my target or not. So if you put a target there for the decimation, or if any figure or if any digital target is there, then you're trying to reach, then the program tries to reach that target entered by you to get a good result. And if and the program decides for the logic of it, and remove hidden. If there are any hidden or unseen, invisible parts behind the model, it just removes those invisible parts. Why? Because you are going to estimate the lights, for example, your direction light or another light is dispersing up to 360 degrees everywhere. And there are some points that you cannot see with naked eye, but there might be some period porous textures on the geometry, and getting through that gaps, those porous areas, the light may continue to disperse within the model. Therefore, you can actually remove those hidden parts in order to control the whole model. And for example, you may also have a geometry in front of you, and it seems nothing. Actually, it's ruined, and you may remesh it. There's a logo, for example, and it is ruined, and the game object needs to be meshed once again. You can use this feature there. For example, you have a wheel, driving wheel, and there are cards around it, but in the middle there is an engraved logo. And if you do decimation, I mean, if you try to optimize the mesh, of course, the program will not understand it's a logo or not. So it will be ruined. Therefore, you will subject them to topology once again to increase the number of meshes at certain points. Gizem has a question. After drawing a model in Rhino as a nerve, I can decide for the number of meshes while transforming into mesh. And what is the advantage of Pixies in this pipeline? And what are the problems that we may face here? What I can say to you is that we need to try with different geometries. And the best thing to do is to download 7 days trial, and if it is you can see if it's possible to further optimize it or not. Try and see is the best, I think. By the way, I can also add that 7 days is a short time. During this time, actually, you may not, maybe you do not understand how the algorithm operates. If you can access us, we can extend the trial period for you. And we can also do some hierarchical movements. For example, in my basic FBX, there are 200 game objects hierarchically. We may want to combine them all, or we may want to fragment them. There may be such operations, such movements. Some can be combined, some can be exploded. Pivots, you can change the location of your pivots. And normals, you can flip or create normals here. It's not a major feature, but you can use it. And of course, you can create UVs. You can use create UV especially for light maps. FBX is great. There's also a rule engine. I can also write scripts here, or I can do LOD generation. These are the basic features of Pixies. Actually, it optimizes mesh structure. It increases or decreases.
Bakın şuradan ilk önce bir
My first FBX. What was it? I picked
burada bir
this
farklı
FBX, and here
CAD
different 3D
programlarından
CAD
CAD
programs
scale factor'ı önem arz
are
ediyor.
used
İşte bu
to
santimetre,
transform these, and
anlattığım
this
gibi
is
işte solid
centimeter in
her zaman bildiğiniz gibi
max or in unity it's meters, so different
gözükmüyordur. Sağ
measurement units may be used by the different programs,
mesh
so
komponentleri
you must be careful about it.
bunu değiştiriyorsunuz.
I will not do any optimization here because the units are compliant here. There's no problem. I do not have rag.
Import eder.
And while
Ayar
importing,
yapmıyorsanız eğer Windows
and if you do not have an
Windows
animation or rag, click the none,
dosyalarınızdan daha az
then
gider.
your file will take less
Bu
will take less
birazdan bitecek dediğim gibi çünkü model çok küçük bir model değil.
it will take some times because the model is not that small.
Hatta Pixies çalışırken sizin
And while operating Pixies,
kesilebilir. Çünkü
our speech may be interrupted with you because I'm using all the sources of the computer. Such algorithms are using CPU and GPU together. These are high quality algorithms. As you all know,
Windows ortamdaki programların çoğu, şimdi animation'a
most of the
geçeceğiz.
programs in Windows
Aynı şekilde apply'da. Windows ortamındaki programların çoğu main thread ve bir thread ve
are
threadleri çalışır genel olarak.
operating on two
Tabii
threads,
bunlar
main
kendi
threads and two
tabanları
threads,
çalışır.
because we are basically working on the objectory. They are operating on two threads, and
Core'a bölemedim
as we cannot divide the problems to more than one
Bu tarz bir
core,
birden fazla
such algorithms
Core'a bu problemi çözdürebilmesi gibi bir durum söz konusu. Öyle
cannot
olunca
use more than one core to solve the problem, and therefore our
bağlantımız kopmuş olmayacak.
connection will not be disrupted, but our speech, our conversation here may be interrupted.
Şimdi animation'ı da kaldırıyorum FBX'ten.
Now I will also remove animation from FBX because there's no animation.
Şu an ses ve görüntü iyi gelecek. Daha çünkü
Yes,
herhangi bir
the
algoritma
sound
çalışmıyor.
and visual will be good now.
Şuradan transformation'ı da
I am not running an algorithm right now because,
CPU programı
and I will also show the utilization rates of the CPU cores here so that you will better understand it.
Ee, tamam. Buradaki amaç
Okay,
materyallerinizi
the purpose here is not to show the materials to you, so I am not touching here.
materyallerinizi göstermek değil.
The
Zaten
purpose here is not showing the materials to you, but
ne
the
kadar
but
görsel olarak optimize edebileceğimizi
optimization of the total of the FBX here in my model.
sorusu var.
Omar has a question, I see. Sorry,
Evet, şimdi kamera ayarını değiştireyim.
sorry, not that. Now I am changing the location of my cam.
Şu an bakın yani ürünün ne olduğunu göstermek açısından bu ürün
So
bir
this is
fırın.
the model. This is an industrial furnace, and there are many parts of it.
2300 parça
There
var.
are 2,300 pieces of this product, and this is real.
Bu ürün ne diye
And
düşünebilirsiniz?
this,
Yani fırın
what
sadece
is
ısınmayı
this
yapıyor.
product? This is an industrial furnace. This is made of sheet metal. And there are doors, there are screws, washers, yeah, the washers, at the same time bolts, and
Güzel.
anything
Şuradan tekrar
is
shift'e
there
basıyorum
actually.
zaten.
And
Baktığım kısımdaki
when
triangle'daki
I look at it, you
yazıların
can see the
hepsinin
number of
düzenlendiğini görüyorum.
triangles. 7.2 million triangles are there.
Okay. Şimdi başlayalım. Ve birkaç tane
Now
parça
let's
seçerek
start.
başlayayım.
I will select a few parts.
Mesela burada bir davlumbazımız
For
var.
example,
Davlumbazın
there is an
şuradan
aspirator here,
seçiyorum.
and I will choose some parts of that aspirator,
Noktalıyorum. Bir anda daldırmak istemiyorum. Çünkü epey
and
uzun sürebilir.
I do not want to deep
Fazla
dive it,
daldırmıyoruz.
but just let me
Ve
select a few parts of this
bundan sonra
aspirator. And
arkadaşlar
after
Pixis'e
this,
giriyorum.
I
Toolbox
will
toprakta
go to the toolbox
mesh
of
kısmına
Pixies, and in
Decimation var.
mesh, first I will
Node.js
tick
olsun.
this
Böyle
decimaticality
birkaç tane ayarlama
and
yapıyoruz.
how many different
Zaten
materials are there
birbiriyle
are
bağlantılar
and
kaç
their
tane
connection with
var
each other,
bunların hepsini
w-
gösteriyor.
the number of
Sonrasında en
renderers, the
önemli
number of triangles,
benim
vertices, all are indicated.
oluşan noktaların
And what is my strategy? Vertex removal. It is about decreasing the number of connections that occur. These are two mathematical models actually. First, we say decrease the number of points
bastırarak ve
or
yapıştırarak yaptığım
overlap
vertex
the
metodlarını
edges.
da kullanabiliriz. Ben vertex
These two
removal
methods
şeklinde
can be
kullanıyorum.
used. I will
Ortalama bir
start with
kaliteye
vertex
bakalım.
removal. For example, when I say the medium quality, when I select it, what will happen? Let's see.
Okay. Mesh'in readable olup olmadığı konusunda sıkıntı
I
verdi.
don't know whether it is readable or not. I'm checking whether it's related to the file.
Peki sadece bir tanesiyle deneyelim. Bunu daha önce bir kere daha
Let's try it with only one. Actually, I faced the same previously.
deneyeceğim. Okay. Import kısmında
Okay, at the import part, there is a problem,
sanıyorum.
I guess.
Evet. Read write'ım kapalı olduğu için dönüştüremedim.
My read write is off, therefore I couldn't transport it. Transform it, sorry.
Telefonumun sesini kısıyorum arkadaşlar bir saniye.
I am
Etkileşsin.
silencing my phone, by the way.
Gizem'in bir sorusu var. Yaptığımız bir modeli
Gizem
diğer
asks a
printer'dan tasarladığımızda
question. While printing a model in 3D, can we
şey
optimize the errors
Benim
with
printer'ımın
Pixies? Actually,
yazılımları arkadaşlar genelde
3D printer
birbirine özgü
software
çıktılardan
are generally
neden
specific to the
bizim bir
printer,
geometrimiz var.
specific
Bu
to the
geometri
software. What does it mean? You have a geometry, and
programına soktuğunuz zaman
when
siz
you
kendi
put that
printer'ınızı ya da
geometry
kullandığınız
into
çeşitli
the
zamandan
3D
sonra
printer,
printer'ınızın
it
toleransını
depending
ya da
on your depending on the
kaçak
model of the
çalıştırabilir.
printer, depending on the running action number of the printer,
Bunlara göre
there are
size yollar çıkarıyor. Yani
pathways actually
bu
provided to you.
belki de bir
Here,
preprocessor ama
Pixies may be
host
a
olarak
preprocessor, but you cannot use it as a host processor because you have designed the product in a program. You can optimize the mesh structure, and you can use a mesh mixer or Fusion 360, and then you can transfer it to your printer.
yoksa Pixies doğrudan sizin
Or
printer'ınıza
Pixies
veya
can
mesela bir program
doesn't have the
değişken
capacity to provide output for your printer.
evet şimdi değişkeyi yaptık.
Well, we
Tekrar
changed now. Let's try it again.
Tekrar içeri sokmamıza gerek kalacak mı? İlk önce onu bakacağım.
Will we need to import it once again? No, we don't need. Yes, one is done. I picked a part. That part of my aspirator is my game object. What I did is to apply a vertex remover strategy. It's default, and these are the default parameters, by the way. I clicked on them, and
Benim üçgen sayım ve
in a second, I saw the number of my triangles. I saw the renderers, the shared meshes, etc. Now I will select more than one part to make it more dramatic. For example, here
motor kafaları var.
there are engine heads.
Görece kompleks yapılar.
These are
Bunlardan
complex, relatively complex. Let's pick
Bu arada
one.
ben birer birer gösteriyorum size ama normalde bizim yaptığımız
Here
şeyler
I'm showing them one by one.
basıyoruz ve bekliyoruz.
Actually, we click on them all and wait.
Bakın zaten
Look here.
hani kompleksiteyi
You can see the complexity on the number of triangles. There are nearly 37,000 triangles actually. I say execute and the process starts.
Belki de çok kompleks
And
olsa da
it may be
%80'ler
complex and
seviyesindedir triangle figürümü yapmadım.
a
Benim
triangle around
buradaki default number'ını
80s or
normalde düşürelim.
70s or 80s may be done.
Şimdi şöyle düşünün. Sizin elinizde
Now
bir
think
algoritma
in
var.
this way, you have an algorithm
Bu algoritmayı siz isterseniz daha uzun,
and
isterseniz daha kısa
you
da
can
kullanabilirsiniz.
make it run longer or shorter. This is the reason. Or
Bakalım bu sefer ne yapıyor. Biraz daha ilerleme
let's
kaydedin.
decrease the
Bunu
quality.
arka arkaya çalıştırabilirsiniz.
Now you can make it run
Bazen
consecutively, by the way.
neden? Çünkü
Nothing will change here because during your operation, a better possibility cannot be found.
şimdi ters işlem yapalım.
Now reverse it. I am here once again. As you know, we diminished the number of triangles. And now let's do a topologize. In retopologize, there are very high or map resolution figures, and also there is the detail of point cloud. Actually, is one of the best features. For example, a laser scanned point cloud data you have, you can process it in a real-time engine, but it's really fatal. And there are programs optimizing this data. Let's mesh it again.
Şu an bu hareketi yaptığımda
Now, when I do this, my existing mesh count can increase or decrease. You see, I did retop and it looks quite uglier.
topoloji yapmam gerekmiyor zaten.
I don't need to do a topology here because why should I rechange the topology? It was looking well. So as you use,
Farklarını anlamaya başladım.
you will understand the differences of functions.
Buna göre
And accordingly, you will understand where to use, what to use where, which materials will give you which output.
dolayısıyla hani şöyle bir baktığımda
So when you look at this, here in game view, there are 7.1 million polygons. When I fully run this program, at best chance 50%, and at the best chance 90-95% optimization can be achieved. So the average probability is about 85-90%.
bu da şu demek oluyor. Hemen hesaplayalım.
So this means that we can calculate this here.
7.1 milyon poligonda
7.1 million polygons times 80% means 9.2 thousand polygons. So I didn't do any merging. There is the interior of this model. Maybe I don't want people to see this. I didn't work inside the model. There are doors here. You don't see them. There are a lot of geometries, complex geometries here. I can destroy all of them. So without doing all of that, any of that, I can ensure a high optimization in Unity. So do we have any questions? I guess we don't have any other questions for now. I guess that's about it. If you want to do more work about this, you can reach us. You can download the trial version of Pixies. You can try to operate it. You can also download Studio if you don't just work with Unity. I just showed the plugin. In Studio, you can do anything. As I just mentioned, you can get the data from Rhino. If you click import model, you can see the types of data you can import. You can directly import FPX IGS, STEP IFC, U3D, CATIA, Solid Edge. Any model that is available on the market, any format can be imported. Nevers, JT. All of these formats can be directly imported into Unity. And as you know, Obijane gets FPX. So you don't need to do an additional step anymore to import these different formats. And that's good. And that's something we use very often.
Tolgay Bey çok teşekkür ederiz.
Tolgay Bey, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for the workshop, for the training. We really enjoyed it. We don't have any other questions, I guess. Let me check once again. No, we don't have any other questions. Thank you again for your participation. Hope to see you soon. See you later. Bye.